Greenhouse, and I'm in the process of setting up a misting system for my seeding trays. Last year I hand watered all my plants, which most people do, but seeing that I have a pretty busy schedule, I've decided that this year I'm going to put in a misting system for my new seedlings, and seems to me like it's going to be pretty easy to set up. So let's get at it. First, this is where I set my seed trays. I have two levels, one on the top, one on the bottom. I used to have one in between, but I've removed that one. And all I'm going to do is bring the water from the outside. I'm going to hook it up with a quick disconnect. It comes in, it's teed, comes up, I tee it again. I have ball valves for each line. I'm using 1/2-inch PVC pipe, and as you can see down at the bottom, I've put in another piece of PVC over because, and I'm going to cap it because I'm going to eventually run the line across to the other side, and I will have another rack on the other side for my beds. So the first thing I'm going to do is glue this all together. Okay, let me recap what we've just done here. I have my inline pipe coming in, comes to a T, and I have a little pipe running off of that T for future irrigation work. The line comes up. I have a T, a ball valve, so I can shut this on and off whenever I need it. Keeps coming on up. Elbow and a ball valve, and these are 1/2-inch male adapters or fittings on it to put my pipe on. And so outside, time being, I'll be using a garden hose, and so I've just put a male adapter, PVC male adapter, to a quick disconnect fitting, and I'll be attaching my garden hose to that. There's an on-off here for the garden hose, and the reason I'm using the garden hose is because eventually I will go ahead and put in-ground lines, but at this time I'm not going to do that, and so I'll be using the garden hose until I'm done. And across the way we have chickens on the run. One of them's got a little creature in its mouth and the other ones want it. And so this is great homestead life out here. I love it. I made up a little support system here for the black poly pipe that I'm going to be putting underneath this particular frame, and I'm just adding the support just so the pipe doesn't sag and the spray nozzles kind of get out of shape, and this should help me keep the nozzles in place. I've attached this support, and this piece over here is a little warped, but that's not a problem. If I have to, I will go ahead and attach a piece of wire or a twist tie to pull it up, and the other side's fine. When I put my seed trays on top, it'll bend down. So now I'm going to go ahead and slide the black poly pipe in. Now on the incoming end of the pipe, I've installed a gear clamp, and although everyone will tell you, no, you got a barb fitting, you don't need to do that, go ahead and do it. It costs about 40 cents for this, if it's that much, and it'll save you a lot of aggravation when that hose slides off of there during the hot weather, because the pipe will expand, and you'll have water shooting all over your greenhouse. Kind of dumb for 40 cents when you can prevent it in the first place. Now on the opposite end of my pipe, it's open and I want to close this off. And my local big box store that sells lumber, they happen to have this, and it's a gadget that slides onto your pipe. You then kink your pipe and slide it back through this hole, and you now have, I hope that came out, you now have a pipe that won't leak, and it crimps easy. If you ever need to extend a pipe, for example, it's very simple. Cut your pipe and you can put a connector in here and put another piece of pipe on. So now we have one line installed, the bottom line. Now we'll go do the upper line. Now I've completed the upper line, and I'm just holding it on with those plastic pull ties. Dollar store, get a whole bag full. I've wiped out my local dollar store about 3 times. They have to reorder for me because I use them all the time. And so that's it. Again, we've pinched it off at the end with that little unique connector. Again, using a inexpensive gear clamp here. And now to put on the mister sprays. I'm doing a guesstimate on this as to where these spray nozzles should go. I'm going to put one in the center and then one in between the center and the end on both sides. So I'm only going to use 3 nozzles, and let's see if that works out. In order to puncture this, I have a little tool here. It's very inexpensive. If you're going to be doing this, I suggest you purchase this tool. And it's very simple. Here's the center of the line. We just take this tool. We're going to push it out a little bit from the wall, or from the side of the, pops in and it pulls out. Then we take our nozzle, find that hole, and you just thread it in. It's a little tough getting started, but once it's started, no problem. And it's got to be that way so it doesn't leak all over the place. So that's nozzle 1. I'm going to go do the other 2. Well, I've installed now the 2 other spray nozzles, and so I'm ready to give this a test run. I've shut my ball valves off, and I'm going to go out and flush out my hose line because I haven't used it over the winter, and who knows, some bugs could have crawled into the hose, and if they have done that, then they're going to get flushed to your nozzles, and you certainly don't want that. So I'll flush that out, then I'll connect it, and we'll give it a test drive. So there it is. I got the little spray misters on right now, and oh man, they're doing a fantastic job. This is even better than I thought it was going to be. And they spray out maybe, oh, I'm going to say a little 4 inches past the tray itself. That's okay. And I will set this up with a timer so that I can have this watered maybe a few times a day if necessary. And this is going to solve the need for me to stop to water my plants. This is a nice soft mist here, and you can see how quickly the water is filling up in that tray there. It doesn't take very long. And you can adjust your the pressure by turning your ball valve. I can shut it down a little bit. That's a little too much. Okay, there we go. That's good. That's good. That's great. So I'll do the same underneath, and I'll be good to go here. I'm ready. I'm excited. Spring is in the air. So I hope this will be some help for someone that's interested in doing this in their little backyard greenhouse. It's simple, it will be time saving, it'll also be kind of somewhat water saving, I guess. I use drip irrigation in my garden and all, and I know that saves me a lot of water, but this is great. So we have a good day, and hope you come back and see us again.